What is up, our friends and film fandom, wherever you may be, and however you may be watching and or listening. We appreciate you being here and giving us just a little bit of your time. We are, of course, The Harsh Truth, and as always, I am obviously not Frank. I don't think Frank got a chance to get to the theater this week, but that's okay. Like I said, Dad lets me drive the car for some odd reason, and he trusts me with it, so that's always good news. But of course, in this car, riding passenger princess with me, I guess is the way to put it. Would be of course the lovely wife Ten Septim. And how are you this evening?
I'm good. I worked today, and then I had a good nap, and now I'm here. That's how my day went.
Yeah, it's like as I've said, if you've been following, even for just the last couple weeks, I told you I and now myself, and you see it with her, we're gonna just slowly be degrading as the weeks go on because my God, the weekend job with the haunt is taking its toll because we're the ripe age group of being in our 30s, so it's all downhill from there. But we're still here. I can't use my line that I always use when people ask me if I'm okay. They're like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm still standing. I'm sitting because I deserve it." But anyway, yeah. So we are here, and where is that damn thumbnail? We're here, of course, talking about One Battle After Another, which, if I go to my notes, One Battle After Another is a 2025 American thriller film co-produced, written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, inspired by the 1990 novel Vineland. I don't know. I don't read. By Thomas Pynchon. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, Teyana Taylor, and Chase Infiniti, and follows an ex-revolutionary who must rescue his daughter from a corrupt military official. Excuse me. As of September 28th, 2025, One Battle After Another has grossed $22.4 million in the United States and Canada and $26.1 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $48.5 million against a reported budget of $175 million. On Rotten Tomatoes, 96% of 278 critics' reviews are positive. The website's consensus reads, quote, "An epic screwball adventure teeming with awe-inspiring action pieces. One Battle After Another is Paul Thomas Anderson's most entertaining film yet, while also one of his most thematically rich." End quote. Lord Jesus. And oh, look at that. He may not be here, but he is here. Big Papa is watching. He's always watching. So... yes, thank you. If I wanted to read, I'd go to school. Or what does that meme in The Simpsons? Like, if he could read, he'd be really upset. Yeah. The funny thing is, I did go to school. And I should reevaluate my quotes. I don't read again, on my own will. That's maybe what I meant. But anywho, so that's the quick synopsis of it. So, what did you think of the movie? Just some real quick overviews of a almost 3-hour movie, which I didn't realize. I don't think until we got there. But give me quick thoughts before we dive head first into this thing.
Well, I enjoyed this movie. Thought it was pretty good. I was interested the whole time. Kept my interest the whole time. What was going to happen next, not sure, where we were going the whole time. It was kind of a keep you on the edge of your seat kind of a movie. Those are my quick thoughts before we dive in.
Yeah. This was definitely interesting, and I will say, like, yeah, I kind of got like the main idea, I guess, from the the trailers and synopsis that it's, ex-revolutionaries, actions are kind of coming back to bite them in the ass years later. With stakes inherently being kind of raised because now you have a kid involved. It's a kid of one of these revolutionaries, played by Leo. Yeah, and like I said, your old nemesis, I guess, so to speak, kind of comes back to stir up some trouble. But I mean, there was more like kind of like twists and turns and subplots that I wasn't quite expecting, and there were some things that were genuinely it was kind of funny, kind of goofy, and there's some comic relief in this. But there are some pretty tense moments in this movie, and yeah, I know we're getting at the cast, but man, some people bring their S tier game to this movie. I will say, Hall of Famers for sure. Like I said, that are in this movie. Oh, look at that! And my mom's here, and not Casey, which is good. And she got her sound fixed because last week she was having some trouble. Couldn't hear us, which that's half the battle. I know, like I said, it's just one battle after another, isn't it? Yeah, they said the title in like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and I was like, it said the thing. It said the thing. I'm a child, I promise. So first thing here, and I did remember to get a picture of the director this time, conveniently on this movie set, which this was hard to pull pictures from because it's a movie that's so new, but I was very lucky to find this shot of Thomas Anderson and Leo DiCaprio. So as it says, another banger by Paul Thomas Anderson is what's written there. So I don't know if you. I mean, this the first tab I always have pulled up is the director because I try to remember look through some of their stuff. So what do you think of Paul Thomas Anderson? Maybe some stuff he's done because he's been around for a hot minute and done a couple things here. And what do you think about what he did with this film in particular?
I enjoyed what he did with this film. I don't really know what else he's done personally, but I enjoyed the direction this film took. I think that it was pretty interesting. All the twists and turns that we took. I feel like this movie really kind of had the three main parts to it. The beginning with all of the revolutionary stuff, the middle with kind of getting to know what was happening with Leo's character and his daughter, and then the end, kind of the real chase down scenes. I think that it moved very well between those kind of three main things, and I think that that it went very well.
Yeah, definitely. I guess in a way is kind of a slow burn. I mean, I guess there's explosions and gunfights and there's some stuff, but it's not. I wouldn't say this is like an action movie. I mean, it did, like I said, it did build up to that and build up to this climax. Well, simultaneously, it's kind of following. Not only it's following Leo, him trying to find his daughter, and then it's following the daughter because she's once she gets nabbed by Colonel Lockjaw, and I don't know, you see the mom in the beginning, and then she just pisses off to Mexico, and you never see her again. Which, okay, I guess realistic, but that's kind of the main core of this movie is Leo, and then the girl plays his daughter, and it all kind of coming to a head with weird subplots of a cult that is Christmas themed. So I guess this is a Christmas movie now by everyone's stupid logic that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and it's not. But whatever. I mean, people that like Christmas are in a cult. I'm pretty convinced anyway. So whatever. That's at least there was something this movie got accurate. Yeah, this is what I was gonna go into first. I was like, I have a list here. I know Frank jerks off Boogie Nights, or maybe jerks off to Boogie Nights. I don't know what he does with his time, but he did Boogie Nights, which is one of his favorites. That's one I first noticed. There Will Be Blood from 2007. Yeah, Boogie Nights, Licorice Pizza, which I'm like, I don't know. I saw that coming up where I'm like, it's like weird and out there, which I mean, I guess to be fair is kind of this dude's style. Sometimes I don't know. I felt like the movie was like trying too hard to be like not edgy, but like weird, and I'm like, okay, I don't know why this woman is like. I don't know who the fuck is. Let me see this movie again. Hold on. Yeah, it's like set in the 70s, and she's like what 25, and the kid's like 10 or some fuck. I don't know. It was a fucking weird ass movie. Just artsy, being weird for the sake of being weird. I think I never saw it, so I guess maybe I shouldn't try to, judge it. I feel like Hard Eight. I know what it is. I think I've heard of that. Punch Drunk Love. I think I've heard of that one. I've never seen it. Wall Street. Wall Street's a fucking good movie. That's a big one with Michael Douglas, Charlie Sheen, or Charlie Winning Sheen, as I like to call him. Well, it's an Oliver Stone movie, but you know what I mean. He was in there. That's a good movie. Not really a whole lot of other stuff that I would recognize. What was this? Paul Thomas Anderson, production assistant, 1992. Wow. I was 6 days old. Whatever the date is on this damn this photo of whoever this is, 11/29. Wow. Cool. Yeah, that's really, and I've heard of Magnolia, but never seen it. So that's kind of his whole thing. So I guess it kind of makes sense with this movie. Like I said, there's just some kind of outlandish things that happen, which stylistically, I think at a couple points confused me because I was like, this feels like it's turning into a cartoon, and I'm like, am I supposed to laugh? I don't know what this is, and I don't know. It just threw me off a little bit. I don't know how to describe. I would say watch. I mean, like I said, I'm never upset that I watched a movie. I would say watch it for yourself, but some of it was a little aggressive. I'll say that. Yeah, that's just his vibe. Okay, what we got now? Furiously clicking between two tabs as if I have other places to be on this thing. All right, second. Oh yeah, because I was smart this time, and I got a picture of the cast. Look at me, our production value is going through the roof. So cast, pretty like I said, pretty loaded cast here, I would say. And a lot of them, I think, like I said, brought their S tier game and had some good chemistry. Who in this cast stood out to you the most? Was there somebody that really, I guess, got your attention, so to speak?
I think I don't know names of actors well.
That's why.
So sorry.
That's why I'm here.
But the guy who played Lockjaw,
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn. Thank you. Sean Penn really stood out to me in this movie. I mean, he really embodied that character really well. I mean, as a bad guy, he really did that. I mean, as the the general, he was a general.
He was a colonel.
Sorry, as the colonel, he played that very well. He played a racist very well. He played a thick, strong man very well. He also played a weak man in a weak moment very well. During that moment of, where she's in the room with him and making him do stuff, that maybe he didn't want to do. I'm not going to go into those specific details because, I don't think YouTube would like those specific details very well.
You can't say those words.
I can't say those words, yeah. Plus, I don't want to say those words anyways. However, but I think he played the part very well. I mean, he really embodied it. And it was very, he was that character. He really did that really well, I felt.
Yeah, I agree. For man, like I said, Sean Penn, Hall of Famer. I was not sure how old he is. He's 65, and I was gonna say I wish I had I mean, I wish I still looked remotely that good at 65, but I was like, I wish I could find the one of him. He's got a jacket on, but like when he was talking to Willa at the end, and I was like, he's just sitting there in like his, uh, camo pants, military boots. He's just got like a t-shirt on. I was like, he's still pretty jacked for being like 65 years old. I'm like, dude, god damn, like, yeah, like whatever workout you're doing at 65, man, he still looks good for it. And again, yeah, he plays a very, very intense antagonist. Who, like I said, I think was maybe one step below. Again, I'm gonna keep talking about this, and I hope it intrigues people. This Christmas gang of like ultra. I look when I say that they're not like dressed up in Santa suits and shit. I don't.
Hail Saint Nick.
We're gonna say things that I'm like, I wish was a joke, but that's actual things that came out of people's mouths in this movie. Like they're like, "Oh, Hail Saint Nick." I'm like, what the? Again, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing or like, what is this? Because they're like super, super fucking so far on the other side, far right, like say it with their whole fucking chest, racist. And I'm like, but I'm like, you just said this old straight white man just said the word semen demon, and I'm like, what? I was so fucking confused. I don't know. It again. Maybe I don't. There's art where I'm like, I just don't fucking understand it. I don't know. But like I said, he was maybe like one step below these guys. I'm like, at least like you said, he did portray a pretty wide range of like, yeah, he can be like the tough military guy who's clearly very willing to sorry, here, I had the button for that. Spoilers. Is willing to just kill his illegitimate daughter, who, spoiler alert, is Leo's daughter in this movie. You come to find that out. But I'm like, yeah, but they were like, oh yeah, you have to be straight, you have to be pure, you have to not have interracial relationships, and it's like, he has a thing for black girls, as he says, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna let you in the club, man. Which that comes to a head, and yeah, it's a hilarious way for him to die. But yeah, fucking menacing antagonist, pretty good. For me, it's my long-winded way of saying it. I think my favorite character in the movie was Leo. I mean, and I'm not trying to take my free bingo space and just say the main character. There's a lot of main characters in this movie, but I would say like obviously the main guy really is Leo. But the scenes with Leo were actually kind of the more fun moments because I'm like, he was genuinely just, it's like you could feel like this is just like a kind of desperate father kind of at the end of his rope trying to make sure his daughter doesn't get killed by this like psychopath. And he had more of the comic relief moments, and it's funny that it's like this ex-revolutionary who, like, he doesn't really remember all the code speak, he doesn't remember all this other stuff, so it's like not only is he trying to do this insurmountable task, but he's also been frying his brain with like drugs and alcohol for like the last 20 years. He's like, I don't remember a fucking thing. Like, where's that picture? It's so fucking funny where he's at the here he's at the payphone, like screaming at the guy on the other end of the line, like, hey, you fuckers called me, and because I don't remember the damn code, you just tell me where I gotta go. It's funny. I would say like probably my favorite person was Benicio del Toro, who plays Sensei Sergio, I think was his name. This like Hispanic like karate teacher that helps him out. I'm glad I got this hilarious shot of him just like randomly he just like bows and just starts like, I don't know if he's like praying or something, but he's just bowing and just handing this rifle over to Leo, which is just one of the funniest things. Which was cool. And I'm just going kind of around the bend here, but I included this too because also I'm a fucking nerd and I notice things like this. She was actually doing this, ties it back to she learned how to do martial arts from Benicio del Toro's character, and she's doing the same forms of the same type of martial arts that I did. I don't know if it was exactly like she was doing the same forms, the same moves. I was like, I know exactly everything you're doing, and I feel good about knowing that. So yeah, she she kind of surprised me too. This Chase Infiniti, I think, is who plays the daughter. She was pretty cool. Let me get Sean Penn's face out of here. He's an intense looking dude, anyway. Honestly, but again, guy's a Hall of Famer, man. He's been around for a hot minute, and yeah, like I said, he's definitely a hard ass, man. I will say, not a lot of pictures for this movie because it did just come out this past weekend. But man, I will admit, if you got drive-by and just shot in the side of the head, and you crashed your car and you still walked away from it and lived, this guy right here is definitely a bad motherfucker. I'll tell you what. He walks away from a crash and getting shot in the side of the head. So, yeah. Although I know I did say he died. He died in a different way, but still deserved. Yeah. That's where I was at with that. All right, now let's get what of like the 10 pictures I have. Let's go to the mom for a quick second. So the plot of the movie, as I said, was Leo and what's her name? Is this Teyana Taylor? I don't remember. I need to have the cast up most of the times, and I never do. It's Paul Thomas Anderson. Yes, I know that. Well, the audience didn't rate it that high. So I'm wondering where this 96% comes from. Yeah, Tiana, I thought so, because I'm like, I know who Regina Hall is. She's the other revolutionary who helped them out. Actually, I think that other revolutionary was the girl from that weird ass movie I was talking about, Licorice Pizza. Yeah, look at that. You work with the same people. Crazy. Yeah, so Leo and Tiana are playing revolutionaries that, yeah, they do run into Sean Penn's character and kind of upend his world a little bit. And there's actually a picture of the mom, which is kind of a badass shot. She ends up pregnant and firing off an RPK, like as Leo says, like it's not even like she realized that she's pregnant, and of course the child she's carrying is their eventual daughter Willa. So yeah, once I think is what she eventually gets caught, the mom does, and goes into like witness protection, and then ends up just ratting out a lot of these revolutionaries that she spent all this time with. Kind of sucks because then they all start having to disperse, go into hiding, get new names, new locations, live off grid, and I guess that's where we find Leo like 16 years later with his with the daughter. And they all kind of keep, like I said, they keep these codes and things in contact where they're like, if something should go sideways, like we all know what to do and where to go. But like I said, Leo's been smoking way too much damn weed and drinking too much alcohol, and he forgot pretty much everything, which sucks. But they do have these little the background there is kind of cool. This little device they have that he's holding, where it's if you're within like 100 yards of another one, it's one of the revolutionaries, and they're like, yeah, you basically trust that person with your life. It'll activate, and it like makes a melody, like a song that they'll recognize, and they know that, oh, that's a friend. So like his daughter has one, and that's Regina Hall ends up nabbing the daughter from like a school dance because she's trying to protect her from Sean Penn's character coming down on him. And yeah, so that's Leo comes back home to kind of realize like, oh crap, my whole world just kind of got upended here, and now he's got to go save his daughter. So that's basically the plot. What'd you think of this plot and weird Christmas cult subplot? Did it work for you? Is there anything you would change or add? Control Alt Delete, because I think I would have shaved a little bit of time off the car chase, because I'm like, I get it. They're driving. Oh, here it comes. Now they're driving. Get to the fucking. I was like, come on. Damn it. So, does it work for you? Sorry. Had to ran.
Yeah, I would agree about the car chase. I was like, it was making me anxious, and then all this, and then I was just like, okay, all right, come on, something happened. The car chase was definitely too long. But otherwise, with the plot, I think I probably would have shaved off a little bit of the beginning. With the revolutionaries and everything that they were doing, we didn't need to see as much. I felt like, I mean, revolutionaries doing revolution stuff, but the plot did work for me. I enjoyed, seeing, them doing the revolutionary stuff, and then we have girl pregnant, and then the baby, and then you see kind of the conflict of her not really wanting to be a mom. It was obvious that there wasn't really room for a baby in her plans. And you see Leo's character, being a dad, being like, come take care of our child. We're a family now. And she's just like, no, I need to be a revolutionary. And then she goes off and gets caught. And then like she becomes basically, like they say later in the movie, a rat. She rats out a bunch of people, goes into witness protection, leaves, and goes off to Mexico. And then you've got 16 years later, Willow, and then Bob, basically. He goes by Bob.
Bob.
Yes, Bob. And they have their, you've got the little bit of teenage angst there, and Bob being kind of a pothead drinker guy, because he's been through so much in his life, and he's trying to, situate to civilian life, really, instead of being a revolutionary. And then you've got the militant guy coming after his daughter. And then you have all the big chase scenes and the subplot of the Christmas Adventurers. Is that what they were called?
Christmas Adventure Call or whatever.
The Christmas Adventure Club. Mm-hmm. I thought that was an interesting addition. This little racist, rich government official white men's club. I thought that was an interesting addition to the movie. Because you got the guy trying to get into it, and that's why he's coming after them, just to get a DNA test to see if it's really his daughter or not. And then, of course, you can do your little spoiler alert thing again, I guess. Find out that it's really is his daughter, and then he's like, "Well, I got to dispose of you."
That looks bad.
Yeah, and then he attempts to dispose of her by sending her off with a bounty hunter. The bounty hunters drops her off with a bunch of other bounty hunters, I think. I assume that's
they might be like
what that group of people was that he dropped her off with. And then he's sitting in his car thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And then he's like, no, that's a child. And lets her go and shoots everybody else, and he gets shot in the process, I guess, too. Dying. He ends up dying, and she ends up escaping. Then they go on the ever long car chase, which was way too long.
A little bit.
Meanwhile, Sean Penn's character was driving away and gets shot by one of the Christmas Adventurer guys, because they knew that he had slept with her mom.
Teyana Taylor.
Yeah, Teyana Taylor, his character, and basically tried to kill him because they didn't want him in their club because he was unclean or something.
Yeah, kept saying clean it.
Yeah, they kept saying to clean up the mess or whatever, which is awful. So they shot him, and then eventually they all meet up and end up killing the Christmas Adventurer guy who killed Sean Penn's character. And then at the end, you see Sean Penn's character all bloodied and gross walking back up the road. And then, you know, at the end of the movie, you know, Willa and Bob, you know, are back together again and safe. And you see Mr. Sean Penn's character, he's got his facial reconstructive surgery,
gnarly,
which looked gnarly. And he's sitting with the Christmas Adventures and he's explaining how he was, you know, unclean, but they still accept him in. And put him in a room, and it's like, this is going to be your office. And the guy goes, oh, hold on, I left my keys. They shut him in the room, and he gets all comfortable, and he's all happy, and then the gas starts, and he's dead. Spoiler alert. He's dead. They gassed him. But as for that plot, I enjoyed the movie. I think I enjoyed the plot of the movie. I thought it was pretty good. You know, I enjoyed how it went through, and I mean, it was kind of an edge of your seat kind of a movie, I felt. And it kept me interested the whole time. And usually longer movies like that, I get bored. So I was interested the whole way through.
Yeah, I think it might be kind of realistic. I mean, like, you have 3 different people here in these cars going down this, like, nowhere in the mountains road. I don't know. It was shot, again, like you said, like an intense kind of nail-bitey way, but I was like, okay, but I get it. Come on. Okay. That's kind of like, something does need to happen here. Even seeing, like, I said, like, Sean Penn's character driving away after thinking he's, you know, tied up his loose end, as it were. And he gets shot in the face by the Christmas gang, or I don't know what the fuck. Christmas Adventure Club guy who, like, brought him in. And they leave him to die, which again is kind of a bad guy trope. I'm like, you didn't even check to see if he was dead. And I will dock a point for Leo, because he did, like, look and he, like, poked him with his gun. I'm like, you should have still checked, man. Like, you know it's him. Because he realizes, like, and that's what that scene back here is, like, he realizes, like, his daughter's not, you know, with him. So he's waving the little stick around the music, you know, indicator, whatever the hell that thing was supposed to be called. I'm trying to find her. But yeah, I would say, like, the main body, you know, of this movie, I did enjoy, you know, the progression of, again, of Leo trying to get kind of back into the swing of, like, getting the revolutionaries to try to help him, like, hey, you know, when we said shit hits the fan, we got to meet here, and we got to do this, you know. So like I said, Regina Hall's character goes and picks up the daughter before, you know, she's she's inevitably captured, but she tries to get her to a safer place with all these nuns that are packing guns and, like, growing weed and shit, which was goofy, and I fucking loved it, because I'm like, that is some weird Sister Act type shit that I was totally here for. Because I think I do have a picture, like I said, it's cool they have this picture, like, from the beginning when she's pregnant with Willa, and then they have a pretty mirrored image of, like, there she is with all the nuns, like, shooting the guns off, and she's doing that very similar, just, like, deadpan. I have, like, a picture, yeah, closer, where she's just deadpanning, just, like, mag dumping this gun into downrange. Very much mirrors that shot of her mom from the beginning, but yeah, that was cool. And like I said, him eventually getting you know, Benicio del Toro to help him out while he's trying to sort his own shit out, because it comes down on him too, because I love the scenes of him in the car, like, driving Leo, and he's just, it's like, again, it's the funny things where you don't, like, say it. It's just, they're driving, and as Benicio del Toro is driving, they're just sipping on Modelo's. I'm like, I get Leo doing it, but, like, dude, you're driving. What the hell? And he's just so casual about it too. And, you know, being a good friend, he's like, you know, the cops are coming behind him because they're obviously speeding, and he's like, well, it's the end of the line. He's like, yeah, not for you though. I'm like, Ah, would it be a bro? Hell yeah. And then, it's the scene in the trailer. He jumps out of the fucking moving car. And of course, that scene of Benicio del Toro getting arrested was pretty damn funny because he's just being goofy, like, oh, back up. Okay, put your hands over your head. He's just there dancing on the fucking road. And he's like, well, you didn't see us? He's like, oh, no, I saw you. You didn't see the red and blue lights? No, I saw you. I did. Sir, you been drinking? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had a couple. What'd you throw out the car? Just some trash. I'm like, this guy does not give a shit, and I love it. Yeah, it was interesting. It was not, like I said, I guess in a good way, not really what I thought it was. I mean, it was, but there was, like I said, twists and turns I wasn't quite expecting. I wish I had a picture of Lockjaw when he got they tried to work some miracles on his face, but man, some of that practical again, since you and I both do horror makeup, you more than me, you do like crazier shit than I do. I was like half, because I'm a nerd about that. I'm like half listening to the film, but I was like looking at it and I'm like, yeah, but how? Like, that's all practical. I mean, maybe like the thing with his lip was like CG because they
gave him a cleft lip.
Yeah, they gave him like, because half of his lips like up here, it's like a hair lip. Like you can kind of see when his teeth are kind of sticking out, and then this like here on the side of his face was obviously like a prosthetic with a scarring, and they pop like a contact lens into his eye. It looks all like clouded over, almost like he's half blind. I'm like, yeah, but it was the mouth thing that kind of got me. I didn't quite know how, because I'm like, what? Almost, excuse me, like a little under like 20 years ago with Two-Face in the Dark Knight series. I'm like, that was CG, and I'm like, yeah, damn, you got like the sinews of like muscles. You can see his teeth and his face is like half blown off. I'm like, you could probably do a pretty easy, or if there was some way that they somehow managed to make his mouth look like that. I don't know. I was nerding out about the practical effects, if it was practical, or if it was CG. It was gnarly to look at. So that was impressive. Yeah. There was I have this picture because I am going to nitpick because I'm a fucking gun nerd too. If anyone notices, I'll point you to Leo's gun. I have a closer photo of it. I'm like, sir, your bolt is up and maybe even open. I don't think you're threatening anybody with that gun, Leo. I was like, that just bugged me a little bit because again, I noticed dumb things like that. I'm like, yeah, Leo, your bolt's open, man. I don't know how many shots he had in that thing that he already used, or how many Del Toro's character gave him, but I was like, hey, I think this is even like on the poster too or something. I guess this is one of the main shots, and I'm like, God, that bugs me. That bugs me so much. But whatever. I think it was kind of cool that even like the daughter, even though she was kind of hesitant to, it's like, I think it's the realization. It's like the thing that her parents trying to tell her, hey, if this happens, because like when Regina Hall comes through, she's like, hey, I was told by my dad if anyone ever said those words to me, like I need to trust him with my life. So she's coming to that realization of, oh, maybe he was like, this is real, So when she gets to the end and she basically escapes, being murdered, takes that guy's car, takes the gun out of the car, and she's still zip tied. I want to say that was impressive. She escaped, still zip tied, driving the car and two-handing this gun. And she's like shouting out the code words to the Christmas fucker, and I was kind of like, I wouldn't have even given him a second chance repeating it because he's like, what? And she repeats it again. He's like, I don't understand. Boom, boom, boom. And she just dumps it. I'm like, yeah, good. Jesus Christ. Good on you. And it's kind of a tense scene. I think, again, same with the background here. Like Leo does eventually, he sees the daughter on the side of the road pointing a gun at him. And I'm thinking like, dude, don't fuck this up now. And I'm like, I really don't think she's going to shoot him, but because she knows who Bob is, she's seen his face, obviously, but she's still screaming the words. And I think it was just like adrenaline running through her veins. Like, just, you need to answer me. And he's like, dude, it's me. Like, really? And, they all live happily ever after. I think it's funny they had like Nokia phones or some shit because he's like, yeah, they don't check those phones. They don't track those because they don't use the same bandwidth as the phones now. And it was kind of a cute moment. Like they've got like modern phones now at the end. They're trying to like figure it out. And Leo's like, I can't, where's the flash? Like, how do you take a picture? Just still starting smoking weed, just trying to figure out how the fuck to work the phone. Well, she's trying to explain it to him. So, and yeah, Sean Penn got gassed by the Christmas clan, spelled with a K, I think. So it all worked out, and she there was a touching like letter that the mom had wrote years ago that Leo let her read, kind of, with her regrets, like, man, I'm sorry I couldn't be there, and maybe she realized eventually, like, yeah, maybe I should have just stayed with them, but that's a touching scene at the end. I don't need that movie. Get out of here. Okay, so now that we've beat the plot to death, because I'm trying to vamp because this is kind of short, because I mean there's not a whole lot. This movie just came out, so trivia. Oh, look at that. And there's like what, 4 things. So we'll try to suffer through this. Paul, okay, we can do Paul Thomas Anderson, and it conveniently talks about Leo, so we can use this again. Paul Thomas Anderson previously approached Leonardo DiCaprio to play Dirk Diggler in Boogie Nights from '97, Frank's favorite film, apparently. But DiCaprio declined in favor of Titanic from the same year, '97. DiCaprio has since regretted that decision, saying, quote, "It was a profound movie of my generation, and when I finally got to see that movie, I just thought it was a masterpiece." I'm like, well, to be fair, Titanic. I mean, I don't really know if one was the right choice or not, but I mean, I think you went with the right direction there, man. So you're still acting, to this day, obviously. Like, God, when was that movie? I'm trying to think. Like the year before that was like the Romeo and Juliet movie, which I still say, y'all can go to hell. I love that movie. Like a modern day spin on modern day setting, but still old Shakespearean language for a Romeo and Juliet story. Literally, the story is, I don't know. That's goofy, weird shit that I actually liked, and I think it's pretty cool. Because as I was told by my English teacher, it's like it would be kind of a slap in the face to Shakespeare to not still include the dialogue, and I'm like, and it weirdly works. We have guns instead of swords, like horses instead of cars. Definitely totally not like Miami instead of, well, it's still Verona, but like, it's, I don't know. Stylistically, it was just one of the coolest things I'd ever seen in my, formative, very impressionable years as a teenager. So let's go. I don't know. Let's get Del Toro. I like the guy. Paul Thomas Anderson's. This is Paul Thomas Anderson's most expensive film yet, with a reported budget between 130 and 175 million. Holy hell! Some Avengers numbers right there. Despite Anderson's highest-grossing film, There Will Be Blood from 2007, making only 76 million upon release, which I believe was this movie. No, 45 million. So, yeah, you gotta be careful with them big budgets, man, because that shit'll bite you in the ass if it's not. We've talked about this several times. Like, you can make a movie for not a whole lot. You can, and what is that saying? Necessity is the mother of invention. I mean, it's like, so if you have to make it work with what you have, and sometimes the magic happens. And I'm telling you, it's like if you can make a movie for, as Frank says, bus fare and a stick of gum, like and if it's good, you got good dialogue, story, characters, maybe even, it's all profit. Now, sure, you want, it could be actors, it could be sets, you want flashy stuff to happen, sure, spend the money, but that's the game of cat and mouse of like, yeah, you spend this much, you want to make this much. So that's kind of scary that's how much, at the high end 175 million. So man, you're talking some big numbers. You better start making. Okay. Ooh, good. I definitely picked this because of that exact moment. Teyana Taylor improvised the Tony Montana line. Paul Thomas Anderson, despite not being a fan of the movie Scarface from '83, decided to keep it in since he liked her delivery of the line. I mean, that's fair. she mag dumps that fucking RPK and then just goes, "Whoa, feel like Tony Montana." I'm like, yeah, it's a fair reaction. You're like, goddamn. Damn, I guess we're okay. Last one, we're gonna round out with the mom once more. Oh God, how do we pronounce her name? Perfidia, I think was how we said her name. Perfidia's name is the Spanish and Italian word for perfidy, which means betrayal, which is, as we know, exactly what she does in this movie, betraying her fellow revolutionaries and then eventually Lockjaw, who she abandons out of guilt and shame, which I guess is fair. Yeah, she just dropped it and walked away from everybody. Ironically, which, like you said, it's like Leo was like, "We have a family. Like, we don't have to do this anymore. Like, help me take care of our daughter. Like, let's, And she's still in that mindset. And it's like, yeah, you kind of get it. And like that scene where Leo sits down and talks with her mom, and says like, yeah, she's from like a whole line of revolutionaries in this family. It's like, yeah, that'd be a hard thing to not want to keep doing. But I think she just kind of realized it a little too late. Because Leo saw it as like, yeah, this is more important than what we were doing. And I maybe the reason for this is like, they mirrored like the mom, because even in the letter she said like, maybe you could still do the things that we were doing or do it better even. So yeah, I was like, yeah, it's kind of shitty of her to just throw them under the bus like that. That sucks. But oh well. Actually, you know what? It would have been kind of cool. Now I'm just thinking. Because there was a line from Leo that he said, like after the military came to the door, he's like, every day I kept thinking like I would have hoped it was the mom coming back, that she was the one knocking on the door. And I'm like, man, that would have been cool as shit if like that last shot was like you hear that knock at the door again, then it was the mom. Just to really nicely tie it up that she did come back after everything's now taken care of and said and done. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm asking for sappy shit in this movie that had so many roller coasters of emotions going on. I don't know. Yeah, that was all the trivia. It's a new movie, so that's not the easiest thing to do, but yeah, leaves it all excuse me, goddamn, leaves it up to this is our interpretation of it. And like I said, go watch the movie if it's something interests you. Definitely pee beforehand because it's pushing like 3 hours. So it was like 2 hours and like 45 minutes or some shit. It was pretty close. But yeah, but it does keep you entertained throughout its run. Again, you're still just your fingers are crossed. You're still hoping like, man, God, Leo, come on, you got to get there. God damn it, you're so close. And like this scene, like when he's got the drop on all of them, like he's up there on like the mountain, like just scoping out Lockjaw and some of those guys, and like Lockjaw puts the daughter in the car, man. He walks just broadsides you right there. I'm like, that's your shot. And I'm like, I knew he wasn't gonna make it. I'm like, it wouldn't be that easy. I was like, damn, dude, come on, you I want to see you take this bastard out. So yeah. I guess I kind of went first here. That's my final thoughts. What are your final thoughts on this movie? And would you give it a recommend?
I would recommend it. I think it was a fun movie to watch. I enjoyed it. I probably would only give it one watch though. I probably wouldn't watch it again. It was good enough for going and seeing it in the theaters. Kept me on the edge of my seat. But the twists and turns, for a one-time watch were good. But yeah, I would recommend going and seeing this movie.
It's definitely a theater experience movie, I would say. I can agree with that. So give it a watch. Like I said, I also agree. I'm not sure if I'd watch it again, but yeah, it was still fun. I'm not saying it doesn't have rewatchability. I mean, the guy that we got our concessions from, apparently watched it like 3 times before, and he was gonna go see it again like a 4th time with his mom that weekend or something crazy like that. So I was like, okay, maybe there's something to it. But it was personally, like, I think it was a fun, just one time through, to see the story. So I agree. And yeah, next is what day is it? Tuesday? It's Tuesday. I don't know what fucking day it is anymore. Yeah, I would say so. Oh God, I need to quit skipping you. I'm sorry. What do you do on the internet? I'm sorry. I keep stepping over you there. Where do people find you? What do you do on the interwebs and shit like that?
Well, right now it is spooky season, so you can find me on TikTok as Tin Septum. I am doing some TikToks about makeup, some special effects makeup, some spooky makeup. I live stream on Saturdays, around 2 or 3 o'clock,
Eastern
time. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing on the internet right now. Come say hello. Yeah, that's about all I'm doing right now.
And that will be that meme. I didn't do fucking shit. No, I'm here, as you know. I'm here Tuesday and Thursdays, which is always my really terrible segue into I don't know what the hell we're doing, which is always the answer I pretty much give. But to be fair, I mean, I guess Thursdays are up to me, so that question now falls back on me, which again I don't know. So yeah, I've never planned this shit out. I mean, we saw what was the movie we saw last? Dear God, what was it? So I don't remember what happened last week. You see what I mean? I'm checking my phone. Give me a damn second. Check the Twitter group because that's the only way I'll remember. I'll remember how we did it. Because it was not something that we did on the show. What was it? Happy Death Day. God damn it. We saw a movie and I don't remember what it was now. Fuck's sake. I was thinking about that. Or we could do something completely different. In the words of Monty Python, and now for something completely different. But we'll probably know by tomorrow what we do for Thursday. This is also where I scream for help from Frank, who's not paying attention, I don't think. That's all right. Just know we'll be here Thursday, and I guess I'm all over TikTok too, because not by my own volition. I mean, like, I'm, I sound like a prick when I say, like, oh, I'm famous. I'm like, you're proud of me, Ma? I'm famous. I just keep seeing like videos pop up of like stuff from the cave or like other people that review stuff, and I was like, oh, there's me, just as the devil. I'm like, oh, hi. So, or a friend of mine who I used to work with even comes to me, she's like, hey, you came up with my For You page. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, showed me a screenshot, and sure as shit, there was somebody who like reviewed it, and I'm like the first bit of the cave, like I'm doing the devil speech. So I'm out there, which is just a general statement. I'm just out there. So yeah. We'll be back Thursday doing something. I don't have DJ Music Man. Where's my... Oh, see a comment. Did he help me? No. It's my mom just telling me she's proud of us. Okay. That works. Good. I'll try to... How do the kids do it? They do like some dumb...
No, it's like... No, wait,
it's... That's one.
I don't know. Here's another one.
They do that shit to me. That's the
That's the Gen Z heart.
What's the... What's the K-pop group? Don't they do that? BTS. BTS do that shit. Yeah. I feel like they're doing. It looks like something I don't.
It's like this or something.
Yeah, like that. But when you ask a kid to hold a phone up to their head, I'm like, how do you do it? And we do this. Oh yeah. And they go like this, like they're holding a phone. I'm like, no, no.
Kids do something different.
Yeah, the kids start saying.
It still looks like a heart the most to me. So.
Yeah. When we're kids is 6, 7 to me, I'm gonna kick him in the damn teeth. And that's a joke, YouTube. I would not do that. Anywho, I need my music. Anyway, that, and also goodbye. We will see you then. Go out there and do spooky stuff, guys. It's October this weekend.
It's time.
We will start doing some spooky stuff. Actually, we might start doing some Tron. Actually, I think was the talk amongst the table. So maybe we'll do that.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.